Hey guys, this is Zach B, bringing you my first video in a new series I'm calling DC In Depth, in which I'll be discussing origins and histories for different DC comic characters, as well as storylines in the Silver and Bronze Ages. Today we are looking at one of my favorite DC villains that hardly gets mentioned, Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage was created by Alfred Bester and Martin Odell and first appears in Green Lantern number 10 in December of 1944. Described as only an immortal, Savage only really cares about one thing: conquest. His abilities include immortality, superhuman strength, a genius-level intellect, and has excellent skills in combat. Some of his known enemies are Green Lantern Alan Scott, the Immortal Man, the Time Traveler Rip Hunter, and the Flash, to name a few. He has made several TV appearances in Justice League the Animated Series. In a 3-episode story arc of the Justice League Animated Series titled The Savage Time, Savage traveled back in time to World War II to replace Hitler and defeat the Allied forces, causing them to lose the war. The Justice League was unaffected by the change in the timeline due to the protection of Green Lantern. Because of the change in the timeline, the Justice League was unaware of what just took place and was shocked to see a Nazi regime presence everywhere. This also led to the Justice League encountering an alternate version of Batman, in which he was the leader of the Resistance. He also stars in the second half of the Season 2 story Hereafter, in which Superman is transported thousands of years into the future. There, he finds the Earth destroyed, and the only person alive is Vandal Savage. In the episode Maid of Honor, Savage claims to be his own grandson and tries to marry Princess Audrey of Casnia in an attempt to rule her kingdom for himself. Savage is also part of a group called The Light in the cartoon Young Justice. Him, along with other supercriminals, try behind the scenes to take over the world. One of his best accomplishments on the show was secretly brainwashing Red Arrow into helping him take over the League in order to gain access to the Watchtower. In the animated movie Justice League Doom, Vandal Savage heads up the Legion of Doom in another attempt to take over the world and has to go up against the Justice League once again in order to do it. Originally as a character from Earth 2, Savage was an immortal man dating back from the Cro-Magnon era. In prehistory, 50,000 years ago BC, Savage was a caveman named Vandar Ag, leader of the Cro-Magnon blood tribe. One night, while he and his tribe were out walking, a major meteor storm began to take place. Meteors struck Earth violently all over the place, scaring most of his tribe, causing them to run away in fear. Witnessing one of the meteors striking the Earth, Vandar, not scared like many of his fellow cavemen, was curious about the glowing rock. Since it was very cold, Vandar walked over to the meteorite and laid next to it.
Far older than that. The first time a meteor granted me power was over 25,000 years ago. While my fellows cowered with fear, I dared approach the strangely glowing rock. Warm. The night was very cold. I slept curled up next to it, not realizing what its rays were doing to me. But over the millennia that followed, as I watched those around me grow old and die, while I remained unchanged, I discovered the truth and came to accept my destiny.
Destiny?
I live to rule.
Savage's first mark in the history of the DC Universe came when he and a select group of people successfully undermined and destroyed the lost city of Atlantis. That group of people became known as the Illuminati, with Savage serving as its leader. 45,000 years ago BC, Savage arrived in a shipwreck near death on the shores of Atlantis. He recovered soon and gained a following. With the help of a magical man's brother named Garn, Savage quickly gained a following, and him and his followers soon undermined all authority in Atlantis. Calling themselves the Brotherhood of Light, they represented greed, darkness, and fear. This group would later be called the Illuminati. He claims to have ruled hundreds of civilizations under hundreds of names. Cheops, who was the supposed builder of the pyramids, Genghis Khan, slaughterer of millions, Blackbeard the pirate, and has also worked as close friends and advisors to the likes of William the Conqueror, Napoleon Bonaparte, as Marshal Savage, Ra's al Ghul, Otto von Bismarck, whom he helped to invade France, as Baron von Savage, and even Adolf Hitler, which was illustrated in the Justice League animated series. Being an immortal man, Savage has lived many lifetimes, and in one way or another has been the leader of the Illuminati. As seen in the 1990 comic miniseries Time Masters, we see Vandal Savage leading the world in secret as the leader of the Illuminati through the ages, from 1990 to 1874, 1770, where he is responsible for secretly killing George Washington and swapping him with an exact look-alike who was loyal to him. The year 900 AD, where he acts as a secret ruler and dabbles in the spiritual arts of tarot cards. And finally, in the year 2578 BC, where he is posing as Cheops, an Egyptian king responsible for building the pyramids. Through all the centuries, it's implied that the source of his power is his possession of the Holy Grail, which you can see him holding several times throughout the ages. If you would like a more in-depth look at Time Masters, look forward to its own solo video coming soon. During the Golden Age, Savage battled the Justice Society of America after first meeting Green Lantern. In Savage's second comic appearance, we see him as a member of the Injustice Society of the World, going up against the JSA. When a radio program is set to hit the air designed to honor the Justice Society of America, the announcer flip-flops and praises the Injustice Society, stating that they will reign supreme. Preparing to do battle, the JSA, consisting of Green Lantern, The Flash, Hawkman, Wonder Woman, Dr. Midnight, and Al Pratt as the Atom, split up to defend different parts of the country and take on the Injustice Society. Meanwhile, hidden in the stone depths of the city, the Injustice Society reveals that they wanted to divide and conquer, and that everything went to plan. Since they have succeeded in dividing their enemies, all that's left is to attack them separately. While the rest of the members, consisting of the Wizard, Brainwave, Degaton, the Thinker, and the Gambler, go after their nemesis, Savage goes after Hawkman. When Hawkman arrives, he finds that there has been a prison break. He spots Savage outside the prison and knows he is responsible. When he attempts to attack Vandal, Savage seems to disappear right in front of him. Before Hawkman realizes what's actually going on, he finds himself behind bars, and he has Vandal Savage and his mental projector to thank for it. One by one, every member of the JSA is defeated and captured. Brainwave tricks Alan Scott into firing on him while inside a box that hurls any force shot at it back at itself, leaving GL presumed dead. The Flash is struck by a device that increases his weight 60-fold, making it very easy to put him in restraints and capture him. While the Atom tries a different approach and plays dress-up, he too is defeated when he tries to take the entire Injustice Society on by himself. And after the Degaton captures Dr. Midnight, we see the entire Justice Society of America captured and imprisoned. But when they put their wits together and figure a way out, we see that they have been tricked once again. Savage and the gang have been expecting the JSA, and they plan to make a mockery of them and the entire judicial system by putting the Justice Society on trial. Just when it seems like Vandal Savage is going to be victorious, we discover that the judge is in fact Green Lantern in disguise. Fully regrouped, the JSA finally delivers the final blow, and Savage and his group are all defeated, except for the Wizard, but he is humiliated the worst when he decides to make a run for it and gets beaten by grade school children. Ouch. JSA wins, Injustice Society, along with Savage, beaten and embarrassed. During the Silver Age, Savage attempted to capture the members of the Justice Society out of revenge and placed them in suspended animation blocks, but it was thwarted by both the Golden Age and Silver Age flashes. Barry witnessed strange lights in the sky, and it reminded him of a comic book story plot that he read as a kid. In Earth 1, comic book stories are actually the real-life stories of Earth 2's JSA. Barry traveled to Earth 2 to seek out Jay Garrick. Golden Age Flash was captured by one of Savage's blocks, but was luckily rescued by Barry. We see Savage in his lair sitting around a captured Justice Society reminiscing about how finally getting revenge after the JSA sent him to jail. When Barry and Jay caught up to Savage, he used a weapon to make both Flashes fight each other and captured Jay after Barry beat him. While trying to capture Barry, Savage used an illusion machine projecting an image of himself to trap Barry in a suspended animation container. But before Savage was successful, Barry realized his trick and freed the heroes. This caused the JSA to once again defeat Savage. New series I'm calling DC In Depth, in which I'll be discussing origins and histories for different DC comic characters, as well as storylines in the Silver and Bronze Ages. Today we are looking at one of my favorite DC villains that hardly gets mentioned, Hey guys, this is Zach B, bringing you my first video in a new Vandal Savage. Vandal Savage was created by Alfred Bester and Martin O'Dell and first appears in Green Lantern number 10 in December of 1944. These are Green Lantern Alan Scott, the Immortal Man, the Time Traveler Rip Hunter, and the Flash, to name a few. He has made several TV appearances in Justice League, the animated series. In a 3-episode story arc of the described as only an immortal, Savage only really cares about one thing: conquest. His abilities include immortality, superhuman strength, a genius-level intellect, and has excellent skills in combat. Some of his known enemies